Hello, hello, my dear friends. How are you all? This is Kathy from Divine Debut, and I thought I would bring you an astro update. It is the 17th today of March of 2023, and it's 4:13 Greek time, so 2:13 UTC time, Greenwich time, when I'm doing this reading. I've got 0 Aries here so that you could follow along easier. And feels really heavy, my dear friends, and the past few days have been very heavy. Right now, as I'm doing this reading, it's the moon. The moon is at the 29th degree and 53 minutes of Capricorn. So emotionally speaking, right on Pluto, something's got to give. This 29th degree is an anoretic, difficult degree. Emotionally, this is like some sort of an ending that we're coming up to. We are closing something, as we see the sun is placed in Pisces. So if, we've had a difficult full moon in Virgo, that was when the moon was in opposition to the sun. So the moon was filling out in Virgo, and it was in opposition to the sun on March 7th in Pisces, which was a very difficult full moon, as we could see Mars here. Mars was coming up to the, Mars in Gemini was coming up to the 25th degree, where he's stationed to turn retrograde last year. He's been in Gemini for some months. So all the mutable signs have been feeling the pressure, the challenges, the need for change. Remember, Saturn has also ingressed into Pisces, so the mutable signs of Pisces, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Gemini are feeling this mainly. But ever since the full moon, let's say moon in opposition to the sun, now it's past the 3/4 moon, so after a full moon, the sunlight starts to wane from the moon, the reflection of the sun onto the moon, obviously. So it's like we've seen something, we've had some sort of an aha moment, what is culminating, and now we're on the way to ending, right? It's more of a, let's say, after the third quarter moon, which would be the moon having passed through Sagittarius. We're past that stage now, and we're heading towards a balsamic moon, which means there's balsamic phase is like being the hermit, wanting to go within. We're looking for the guidance through our higher self, through spirit, right? It's a quiet time. It's like meditative. It's a meditative time. We see that there is a lot of pressure, though, in this area of the chart, moon on Pluto. Even though this doesn't last, it could be an hour or a couple of hours that this energy is playing out. Remember that Capricorn is a Saturn ruled sign, and Saturn is the lord of karma. He's all about boundaries and restrictions and needing to do things by the law, right? Saturn is a strict teacher. So, and we also see this major T-square at this point, this major T-square, which is pointing towards Pluto in a T-square, so in square to the south node in Scorpio and the north node in Taurus, but also Hygeia, the asteroid of health, in Aquarius. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn as well as Uranus. So needing to detach from groups that we associate with, needing to detach from unhealthy alliances, people that are not on the same page as you. I mean, Aquarius is all about figuring things out, having that bird's eye view of what we need to do to bring in healthy relationships, healthy alliances. Have we put our needs on the back burner pertaining to the people that we deal with? So are we surrounded by true friends, or are we just coming from a place of politics and, let's say, even pretending that all is good? There are fated events playing out here, and remember that Aquarius is detachment, having that bird's eye view, and the pressure is on freedom. The pressure is collectively on the people. Health issues will not only speak to not only to physical health issues, but also spiritually, emotionally, connecting with those that are healthy, the people that bring us a healthy mind, healthy body, right? These work together, the body and the mind, just like thinking of the chakras, right? Everything needs to be aligned. When we've got a healthy body, even a healthy environment, we feel good, we feel comfortable. I mean, we're needing to find new ways to detach or to free ourselves where there's been unhealthy connections with Pluto at the 29th degree of Capricorn. And Capricorn, remember, it's those who have power over us, those who can control us, right? Remember that the 10th natural house does speak to people who are in a reigning position, people who are above us, yeah? Being controlled, feeling as though something needs to change, to break, right? Some form of escape. We've also, at this point in time, we've got a lot of Pisces energy, which Pisces can speak to escapism. Escaping the law, Saturn in Pisces, trying to escape the truth, Saturn in Pisces. Neptune and the Sun tries to bring in the clarity as the Sun connected with Neptune being in its home sign in Pisces. And Pisces does rule medicines, alcohol, and anything that we use to escape a situation. We can also tune in, it's, spirit and the divine, where we're hopefully creating, where we're drawing something up, we're sketching something that it's like having a vision board and drawing something now, creating something through our higher selves, whether that's physically or metaphorically. It is a time of needing to sort of check out, watch a good film, create something. It's like trying to escape a situation that's not easy at this time. And it hasn't been easy at all. Past few days, my dear friends, with Mars squaring over to this stellium of planets, Neptune, Sun, and Mercury. Mercury, he drowns in Pisces. He cannot get his point across, and obviously there's a lot of frustration, right? We want to move forward now. Mars is on new ground, right, in the house of Gemini. And remember, they're connecting. Mercury does rule Gemini. So we're trying to get our point across, but having great difficulty. I do feel that some understanding will come through, though, which is, it's like putting in extra effort, really desiring to get to the bottom of things, to the truth, where there's been propaganda, collectively speaking, or where we've been wearing those rose-colored glasses, right? Where possibly also, because Mercury does speak to information, anything to do with children, youth, students, learning, right? It's like we're wanting to rev up and, move forward. Mars rules Aries. It's all about new beginnings, right? A new season. We're just around the corner from the Aries season, where the Sun will cross over that 0 degrees of Aries, right? A brand new cycle begins. It's the new astrological year. The 0 degrees, 0 and 29 degrees, they're very important degrees where change is happening. The energies are shifting, right? Even Pluto here from cardinal Earth sign Capricorn, who will be ingressing on the 23rd, trialing 3.5 months in the sign of Aquarius. So again, the 0 degrees of Aquarius. So this will be very important, obviously, for the cardinal signs born in the last couple of days. So Capricorn, Cancer, Aries, and Libra, right? And this will be going on for till early 2025, where Pluto is going to do this. He's going to ingress into Aquarius, then reverse back to Capricorn, then again move forward into Aquarius a second time, and then again return to Capricorn. He will reach up to the 27th degree, which is the degree of exaltation of Mars. So we're not done with Pluto in Capricorn, my dear friends, which began in 2008. And then the third time when he will ingress into Aquarius and stay here, stay in Aquarius. So not only will the cardinal signs of the last, born in the last couple of days, even, I should say even 5 days, the last 5 days of the cardinal signs will be affected, but also the fixed signs born in the first couple of days. And as Pluto, second time, he will move towards the second degree. Pluto is he's an outer planet. He moves very, very slowly. He's all about death and transformation, change. He's breaking down foundations that were not built well, right? Just like the tower card in the tarot. Something needs to change, and there's a major shift going on. It's like a new season. This is not only a new astrological year, my dear friends. It's a new story. It's a new beginning, a major new beginning that humanity is moving towards, and not only, the cosmos, but also individually, right? As Saturn has begun with his ingress into Pisces, Pluto is going to follow with his ingress trial in Aquarius. So therefore, obviously, Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, and Taurus will be affected, as I said, those that are born in the first couple of days. But the more the second time when he returns, so he's going to be in Aquarius until June 11th. Then he's going to return back to Capricorn and return anyway. We'll be talking about it. So it's mainly those that are born in the first couple of days for the next year and a half, year or so. And then the people born on the third, fourth day of the fixed signs. Now, Pluto is very transformative. It's all about change. And remember that Capricorn is governments. It's people that are in hierarchy. So Pluto has been breaking down and uncovering anything that's been hidden, right? There's a change of control, a change of narrative. The story changes generally, and the power shifts. Pluto is power. He is riches. He's all about fundamental changes. And we know that fundamental changes take time. But he's been doing his work. Especially, remember that Pluto being riches. And obviously it's the elite. Capricorn is the elite. Which are few. And obviously the rest of the world, which Pluto also speaks to, the rest of humanity. So Pluto does speak to a plethora, so people, and Aquarius is the humanitarian. It's groups coming together, right? There's been a lot of separation and segregation ever since the pandemic, early 2020, and Pluto's been doing his work a step at a time, but you can always depend on Pluto when he finishes up in a certain sign, that he will have transformed that area of the chart totally. So possibly think of, where do you have Capricorn in your chart? That's where Pluto is changing everything for you, right? Which area of life does Pluto rule for you? Anyway, where was I? So yes, there's been a lot of pressure past few days, especially with this square with Neptune over to Mars. Mars wants to move forward, wants to take that leap of faith, or wants to continue on his journey, let's say. He's in a sign of decisions, right? We've got the twins, Gemini. Gemini is also, being the twins, also rules people, right? Siblings. We're all siblings. We're all sisters and brothers. And there's been a lot of frustration and needing to return back to the past. There's been aggravation, anger. It's like frustration, you know, the energy of Mars as he was retrograde. And not being able to, it's like pressing on the pedal with the handbrake on. So, you know, doing a wheelie, burning rubber. That's what Mars has been doing. It's been hard, especially when he's been squaring over to Neptune. Neptune and Mars in difficult aspects, they're not good news. They could speak to illness, you know, viral infections, disease, not seeing clearly, right? Wanting to be able to move forward, but there's no clarity. We can't find how to be mobile, how to move, because Gemini is also about movement, right? Problems with your car, problems with too much fog, not seeing clearly how to move forward. Where am I putting in my effort, my energy? There's a new story starting here. Mars is now at the 26th degree. He's passed over that 25th, where he's stationed to turn retrograde last year. He's been here for about 7-8 months. So it's been very hard for the mutable signs. Gemini, I understand. I know totally what you've been through. But it's not only Gemini, it's also Sagittarius, right? They're on the same axis, but also Virgo and Pisces. They've been in an uncomfortable position where they had to make the changes necessary. So Mars is going to ingress, you know, 25th of March, he leaves Gemini finally and enters Cancer. He's not strong there. He prefers to be in air or fire, and Cancer, again, is water. So remember that Cancer is ruled by the moon, and it's our emotions, our subconscious, it's where we live, it's how to nurture, provide, how to feel safe, how to feel loved and provided for. Going back to the sun now, closing up a whole year, obviously. And as the sun on the 20th or 21st of March, as the sun passes over the rising, right? Well, in this 0 degrees rising of Aries, nevertheless, it will be at a different time depending on where you are situated in the world. But this 0 degrees of Aries is and opposite, which is Libra. So we're talking about the cardinal signs, and 0 degrees of Cancer and Capricorn. If you've got anything at those degrees, this is very important for you. And it is the world axis. So we'll be seeing important world events playing out on the 20th or 21st, give or take a couple of days before, one day before, one day after, a couple of days after, whatever. But we've also had on the news what's been going on with the banks, right? Silicon Valley Bank, another bank. It's like a domino effect, my darling friends, that has started which is playing out now. We've been talking about ups and downs and Uranus in transiting through Taurus, which is the banking system, and Uranus brings tower moments. This has been promised, right? Because Taurus naturally rules securities, what we own, what the individual owns, right? What gives us a sense of security, because Taurus rules the earth. It rules anything that gives us comfort, right? Venus, the natural ruler of Taurus, as she stepped into Taurus. She's in a good position right now. But she likes being in Taurus. It's her home, but she is squared over by Pluto, and this can be power struggles, money struggles, right? Something has got to give, something has got to change, something has to die away so that another new can take its position. Now, these could be, yes, money issues, power struggles where values are concerned, where securities are concerned, where your career is concerned, and are you feeling valued? Remember that we're talking about earth, and earth is heavy, but earth speaks to security. It speaks to being grounded, not imagining, not relying. We need true, how can I say it? We need truth. We need actuality. We need to be able to feel, touch, right? And physically feel safe and secure. It's like, okay, don't worry, your money is safe in the bank. Yes, that's a promise that comes from someone. Is that the truth, though? Because there's a lot of lies and deception with Neptune in Pisces, 100%, and Mercury drowning in Pisces, has difficulty bringing up the information, cannot communicate. This is missed emails, miscommunications, even though, because obviously this is a triple conjunction, my dear friends, and Mercury's just been in the heart of the sun, which should give us, this is called a Kazemi, right? Which should give us the understanding. It's like Mercury dining with a king, going to the palace, sitting with a king and dining and taking the information, being shown the truth, right? Because the sun is clarity, it's leaders. There will be information that will come to us that maybe we haven't been able to retrieve. Maybe that's been kept hidden. And the good thing is that Mercury is in good aspect to Pluto here. So Mercury there will be opportunities for truth pertaining to things that were hidden. Anything to do with riches, money, medicines, propaganda, mainstream media, mainstream media trying to hold on to the truth. Whether they like it or not, Mercury will give us the information. Mercury is the messenger of the gods, and he's on a roll. He's just connected with the sun. So it's like where there was confusion as he connected with Neptune, the sun will bring the clarity. The sun dries up the clouds, right? Neptune is the clouds. It's the illusion. So there's something ending here. There could be information, communication about some form of an ending. It could be connected to students, children, anything to do with the internet as well, right? Right now, as we could see on the chart here, we've got Venus in Taurus in a very good aspect to Saturn. Now Venus, I should say Venus is, it's abundance. It's anything that gives us that sense of security, feeling safe, secure, feeling good, feeling optimistic, knowing our worth. The teacher, the strict teacher, gives us the green light with this this sextile, there will be opportunities, right, to make magic, to for magic to possibly be turned into something of a reality, something of actuality. Remember that Saturn he's usually very stingy. He is stingy. He holds back. He needs you to prove yourself so that you could have the abundance, right? But this is a green light. This is positive, where we're given a little bit of leeway. All right, here is something to keep you going. Here is some promise, let's say. There are opportunities here, but the hand of Spirit and God, with these in conjunctions, these green lines, right, pointing over to Sarah's, if you remember in mythology, she's the mother who lost her daughter Persephone, who was abducted by Pluto and taken to the underworld. Ceres does speak to what the earth gives us, what it provides us, how Mother Gaia can nurture and love us and provide what we need to sustain, right? And we also know that there's a sense of lack. There's things that are missing off, where our sustenance is concerned. What is it that we humans need to be able to survive, to feed ourselves, to warm ourselves, to have a roof over our head? All these things, even, what is beneath the earth, oil, natural gas, all these things which speak to Pluto. And we know that there's been, power struggles and control from the big players, the big countries, right? US, Russia, China. So much is going on. They play another chess game. Their game is on a larger scale. And it's like, for me, it's like the Almighty with his planets. He plays chess with his planets, and the planets could speak to the countries, right? And on a personal level, it's like the planets or the energies that we are in and feeling, the frequencies. We're all part of the energies. We are made up of energy, right? We're feeling that battle that's going on up there in the heavens. There's a reflection down here in this earth. So we're feeling it individually as well as on a collective scale. That there's a game that's being played here. We don't know when it's going to finish. We do know that, as obviously Pluto is ending a almost 250-year cycle. So there are larger cycles and smaller cycles. What I do know is that early 2025, when Pluto enters Aquarius, it will be more about the power, and the changes will be in the hands of the people and of large groups. The riches will come to the people. There's like a shift, a major shift going on here. But this will take a little bit of time. Remember, 250 years, we're looking back at 1770 plus. So what was going on there? Check out what was happening, Google those years, and you will understand what could be playing now. Not that it's going to be exactly the same, but there will be like a memory of, of what was typically going on then and what's going on now in the world. Maybe a little bit more modernized, but the energies are similar and they're the same. Now, obviously, with the US going through their Pluto return, this is a big deal, and that's why we see that the dynamism and the strength of the United States of America is very challenged at this time. We know that China, which is not an ally of the US, it has become much more powerful You know, cycles come, new cycles start, old cycles end. There are so many cycles playing out. That's the astrology. If you think of the planets, think of the sky. Each planet moves at a different speed, and it's like clockwork. It's like clockwork, my dear friends. And this is what we're seeing. And we know that Pluto, being such an, the most outer planet in our solar system, he's a very small planet, but he's very powerful. And he promises great change. And usually when we've got a planet, let's say, ingressing into a sign and then reversing back to the past, to the old sign again, as something hasn't finished. It's like having, a chance, one go, and then it's like, this is what's going to happen. It gives you an understanding of what could be playing out in the world collectively as well as for you individually. Pay attention to this week and next week, what themes will come up for you individually. This is what Pluto in Aquarius will be about. And then when Pluto will return back to Capricorn and ingress again into Aquarius, it's like having a second chance at something. But then again, Pluto returning back to Capricorn a third time, and that will be when Pluto will finish in Capricorn. So towards the end of 2024 will be a very important year. Meanwhile, now in 2023, in March, this is like a beginning, a possible beginning to an end, if you understand what I'm talking about. So we've got a new astrological year, which is a beginning, and this is a very important year, 2023, March especially, of 2023. Those of you that are not on Patreon, on Tier 3, I have talked about March, and we go into a lot of details about what's going on in the astrology for March of 2023. Very, very important month, very important year for humanity. Do consider joining us on Patreon if you are not there already. And to my loving patrons, thank you for your support always. But yeah, there's a lot going on, my dear friends, and power struggles. Something's got to give, something's got to change. So a new astrological year just around the corner. The day after, we're having a new moon in Aries. Where is Aries for you in your own birth chart? Which area of life does it cover? This is what we look at. I do offer astrology readings as well. You can get the links to my website beneath this video, as well as you can write to me at divinedebut11@gmail.com and divinedebut11.net for those of you that are listening to this video. So a new astrological year, but there are endings here, major endings with Pluto. Now Venus has finished up in Aries. Remember, Aries is cardinal fire. It's all about desire, passion, risk-taking. It's I, me, my. And my dear friends, pay attention. She's at the 0 degrees of Taurus. Yesterday she was at the 29th degree of Aries. On the 20th of April, which is an eclipse, we'll have an eclipse which will be happening at the 29th degree of Aries. This is a difficult eclipse as it will be squaring over to Pluto. Pay attention to what's going on with your money, what's going on with your love relationships, right? Venus speaks to values, self-worth, finances. Could speak to a female individual in your life, someone that you love very dearly, right? Because she's already passed over that 29th degree that the eclipse of the 20th of April will remind us of, right? And she's on the 0 degrees of Taurus now, which is where Pluto will ingress on the 23rd, 24th of March, and will square that 0 degree. So squares are never easy. 90 degrees angles are never easy. They're discomfort, but Spirit is asking that you make the change. You put in the effort. Something needs to be looked at. Now, of course, Pluto squaring over to a Venus can bring riches. It could bring a financial windfall or great financial loss. And Pluto is all about loss. Now, I was talking about Ceres and I got sidetracked. Yes, she could speak to loss as well. And the finger of God and Spirit is pointing to Ceres. Are we going to continue nurturing and loving and sacrificing for relationships, partnerships that are not equal, that haven't been equal? Remember that Ceres is in Libra, and Libra is justice, it's equilibrium, it's fairness. Remember, Libra is also ruled by Venus. Has there been love? And we could see that Venus also is, she's connected to Ceres. Is there enough love to keep this situation going? Because Saturn says that we need to make the adjustments where there's been a lack of love, a lack of sharing, a lack of giving, because Saturn, remember, he's stingy. He's stingy, he holds back for fear maybe of losing his position, for fear of losing his power. Remember, Saturn, Kronos wanted to be in charge. He's a strict teacher. Have you been standing in integrity? We need to look at our integrity. Have we been doing the right thing? Now, of course, Saturn in Pisces does speak to belief, believing that there can be magic, and Saturn will give us the truth and will ground us. Those rose-colored glasses will be thrown away. We need to see the truth. Now, going back to this T-square, we could see that Pluto is at the peak of this T-square, right? 2 squares over to the nodes. So that's what is going on right now with Ceres trining over to Pluto. We've got opportunities to, even though through hardship, to let go of our comfort zone and move towards our collective destiny. This is, of course, on a collective scale, but we're all part of the collective. The North Node is in Taurus, and the nodal axis of the nodes, right, the nodal axis of the moon, the lunar nodes, are coming to complete their cycle in Taurus, Scorpio. So we know that obviously for Taurus and Scorpio and Aquarius, Leo, it hasn't been easy since the beginning of last year. I've had to go through a lot of fated changes. Important changes, right? And a new 20-year cycle opens up for them. 19-year cycle opens up for them. So we know that the nodal axis also will shift into North Node Aries, as the North Node will go clockwise, whereas the planets go anti-clockwise into Aries, and the South Node will ingress into Libra. So what is Aries? Libra. This will happen in July of this year, and just after that we will have a Venus retrograde in Leo, so it will be important for the fixed signs again, especially for Leo, the Leo area of your chart, nevertheless. So what are the nodal axes? What will that mean? It'll be all about relationships, and that's why Spirit is saying, have you been in a healthy, loving, equal relationship? Has there been justice and fairness? If not, it's time to let that go. Right? The stars align for that, even though you can feel uncomfortable. Right? If relationships, partnerships, or people, the important people in your life haven't been good for you, they've caused you turmoil, worry. Remember that a healthy body leads to a healthy a healthy mind leads to a healthy body, and the other way around. That's what the ancients would say. And with Hygeia here, just having passed over that 0 degrees of Aquarius, asks us, are we in a healthy situation, or do we need to detach? Right? Also with Black Moon Lilith here in Virgo in the house of health. Virgo does rule health, our work, our service to the world, what we do daily. She's in a good aspect, even though, yes, she's in opposition to Saturn, but she's in a good aspect to Juno, which is the asteroid of commitment and marriage, and Venus, but also with the North Node. Relationships that are of value, that can give us a sense of stability, a feel-good energy. It's fate, it's time that they enter our lives, or it's time that we let go of unhealthy so we can, those unhealthy attachments, so that we could move towards our North Node. And remember, collectively speaking, this is Taurus. Taurus is the land. The land belongs to the people, not just to the few elite. What does the land give us? It gives us food, it gives us water, it gives us security, right? We need what it is that we need to be able to continue on this journey. And remember, Jupiter in Aries. Jupiter has been moving through Aries. Venus has just left Aries. Juno has passed through Aries. It's like a drum roll for when the nodal axis, the North Node, will ingress into Aries. Aries is I, me, my. New beginnings, cardinal fire, risk-taking, new journey. South Node in Libra, letting go where there hasn't been us and there's only been I. Relationships need two people to tango. Equality, right? At least a 60-40, or 70-30 is two. It's an imbalance. If you've been in a relationship where you've been giving the 70% and your partner's been giving the 30% only, this is like an injustice. So obviously, the one that gives 70% will tire out. It's like going to the racetracks. How long can the first horse keep the first position? He will tire out and lose. He'll come last in the race. So it's just, it's natural. It's a time now of letting go. It's a time now where there's been no respect, Black Moon Lilith, injustices, and being in Virgo, which is all about health, which is all about practical matters, where there have been injustices. She could speak to rage and doing something totally out of the norm. She speaks to raw sexual energy, which is very powerful as well. So it's like the feminine asking for what is hers, demanding, I should say, what is hers, because we know that the Capricorn, this is the patriarchy that's been around forever, and trying to control the matriarchy. Now the power is coming towards the feminine, the yin energy, and we see that in the world, that women are becoming, or I should say the divine feminine is becoming much more powerful, right? Because it's time, it's new cycles open, a new story begins, my dear friends. And remember that Uranus is all about rebellion, where there's been no security and no respect, no love, no togetherness. Uranus is the deal breaker. He's the maverick. He will figure out a way to get unstuck. Remember, Taurus is a fixed earth sign. So nothing is fixed forever. Where there's no change, there's no growth. And Uranus brings in the healthy changes that are necessary. Remember that Uranus is the people. It rules Aquarius. We're bringing in the changes that are necessary. And Uranus also speaks to the internet, to social groups, people that come together, connect, alliances that are birthed these days, that can bring what is the changes that are necessary to the earth, to humanity, to the people. And of course, with Pluto that will be ingressing into Aquarius, Aquarius rules the internet. We know that since 2020, with the social distancing and the way we work using technology is going to be very different. Working from home, working through the internet. And because Pluto in Aquarius will bring major changes pertaining to how we connect, right? Pluto in Aquarius is artificial intelligence. It's new systems. It's new power, the power to the people, to the groups, using the internet to give the power to the people, and not use the internet to hold the people under control, right? To control the masses, let's say. I mean, Pluto in Aquarius, yes, is artificial intelligence. It's Aquarius is the sky, anything to do with aviation, flight, UFOs, the sky god Uranus. Pluto will be bringing lots of futuristic technological advances, but the thing is to use the technology and the advancement for the good of the people, and not use it against the people. So we're looking at our values, my dear friends, and remember, as I said, the nodal axis moving into Aries, North Node in Aries means that the individual needs to be able to sustain, needs to be able to take a risk, needs to be able to believe that Spirit has your back. And obviously at some point, Jupiter in May is going to ingress into Taurus, which, as Jupiter will come to the last degree, 29th, he'll be squaring over to Pluto, which is not going to be easy. Jupiter expands on anything that he touches. This is extra powerful because Jupiter on the powerful Pluto will expand the possibility of controlling the masses, but also Jupiter will give us the light and will give us the truth, because Jupiter does speak to the truth and to justice. Where there has been control, any forms of control, we may see more control moving forward, but this won't last. This will not last. As we're in eclipses, we're having 2 new moons. One will be an eclipse and the other one will be just a normal new moon in Aries, right? The first new moon in Aries will be at the 0 degrees here, right? So the day after the new astrological year, we'll have a new moon in Aries, which is ruled by Mars, and Mars is on new ground now. And then the next new moon will be at the last degrees, at the 29th degree. So again, squaring over to Pluto. So yes, there are power struggles, but with Jupiter expanding, the Mars energy, since he's traveling through Aries, it's about the individual taking charge, taking that leap of faith. And obviously, relationships, as I said, that are not able to be sustained now, because we are all individuals, and we are free, sovereign individuals that are whole on our own. Can we find another whole individual that is free? Can there be freedom, is what I'm trying to get to. Where partnerships and relationships are concerned, can there be respect? Can we hold on to our individuality and not all become the same, right? Which is what top dogs and those leaders want us all to look the same. Everything looks grey. We need more colour in our lives, dear friends. Yes, so as I was saying, Jupiter in a Mars-ruled sign, he's going to be, Jupiter is in battle. He's going to be, he will give power, the power to the individual, and the ability to take that leap of faith. And he will pass over that 29th degree, which won't be easy. But anyway, that's another story altogether. That's another video altogether. I think that I'll be wrapping this video, as it's getting a little bit long. I will be back with another video in when Pluto will be in Aquarius for sure. So towards, what is it? Today is the 17th. Towards the end of March, I'll be back. Every couple of weeks, I do an astro update for the YouTube. It's for free, right? But my dear friends, on Patreon, you get the whole astrology for the whole month ahead. So we'll be doing April very soon, if you're interested in what's going on in April, because it is eclipse time. We're in the energies of the eclipses already now. We're feeling those energies, very powerful. Powerful times, transformative times, lots of endings and new beginnings, large cycles in our own life ending, dealing with karma. Remember, Pisces rules the 12th house. Pisces does speak to feeling a sense of imprisonment, solitude, loneliness, but it also speaks to the divine and to spirit. We're in preparation. We're ready to step out and come into the light. We're coming into our power. Remember, Aries, the ram, the gutsy, the fiery, the enthusiastic energy. We'll all be carrying that energy moving forward. Now it's about endings. So generally, just to wrap it up, Pluto again will be affecting the fixed signs. As I said, Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, and Taurus. If you've got anything in these signs at the 0 or couple of first degrees, this will be an important time for you. For the cardinal signs as well, it's the same. So you're born at the last couple of days of the cardinal signs: Capricorn, Cancer, Libra, and Aries. Obviously, it hasn't been easy for the cardinal signs, as their lives have been going through major transformation with Pluto. They're in a new story already. The signs that Pluto has challenged to make the changes. Now it's, for the cardinal signs, it's those that are born in the last few days. But Pluto will affect the fixed signs now. And of course, with Saturn in Pisces, it's also the mutable signs that, have taken like a breath of fresh air, with Mars now coming away from this square to Neptune, or this stellium, I should say. Remember that Sun square over to Mars. This is like the Sun is not strong in Pisces, obviously, but the Sun is preparing to ingress into Aries, where it's going to be very powerful. So this was like sort of a Sun in Pisces, in a water sign, sort of diluting the energy of Mars, we can say as well, or just sort of needing to believe, even though we couldn't see which way to go and how to move forward as to what it is that we want to create. Right? And also Mercury squaring over to Mars in his home sign. It's a time of needing to complete something now, get our facts straight and move forward. Move forward, as Mercury will bring us messages, truths, and clarity. Okay, and it will be a lot about building on our foundations, our emotional happiness. Cancer is the home, it is the past, it is the mother. It can speak to your family, your place of residence, your country of residence, as well as Mars will move into Cancer and obviously will affect the cardinal signs. Yes, Mars in Cancer will bring the power to Cancer, Capricorn, but will bring challenges to Libra and Aries, right? So, and Cancerian people that don't feel comfortable, when they're not comfortable in their environment, they can be a little bit naggy. But the power now comes to you, dear Cancer. So you're on a roll now, even though you're moving forward, you're creating, and you're taking risks, right? And this has got to do with Capricorn as well. For Capricorn, it's their partners, it's the people that they deal with. Anyway, my darlings, I think I will leave it there because I could keep talking for a couple more hours, but it gets a bit too much. I'm wishing you well. Happy new astrological year, and let's run with the punches. Let's go with the flow, and let's not fight against the energies, right? So just go with it, run with it. When you feel that you can move forward, do that. But if you're feeling blocked, maybe find a different way, a different route, right? If something's not working out for you, maybe it's time to either do things differently or just take a different route altogether. Right? If this is a relationship that hasn't been working out for you, it's time to let that go. It's time to just go with it and see what Spirit shows you. Yeah? Because there's no point in not facing the music. It's a time of facing the music, looking at your life clearly and not pretending that the elephant in the room is not there. All right. Okay, my darlings, I'm wishing you all well. Thank you so much for joining me here, for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. Let's just go to the now, and you will see the moon is now on that 0 degrees where Pluto will ingress. So again, emotionally, how are you feeling right now? You're going to find yourself in this situation again and again. It'll be like a broken record again and again, going through that same cycle, needing to remember so that you've got 3 choices, or not 3 choices, 3 chances, right? Just keep it in the back of your mind what it is that you're feeling right now, because emotionally, what's showing up for you, this is what Pluto in Aquarius will be showing you in the next couple of years. All right, make or break, my darlings. Wishing you well. Talk to you soon.